All right. Shalom, shalom. I want to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Makar Kwadash. I want to say and give double honors to the apostles and the bishop elders of Great Millstone for teaching his word and truth, his sincerity for ruling well, and salutations to my fellow flock. I came across the four corners of the globe that believe and fear the name Yahweh by Hashem Shai. Shalom to the elect. Lord, where some of those men, and shalom to the mixed multitude. And our brother Gabar Yahweh from GMS Hawaii, coming to you with another quick lesson. And it was inspired by this video that you see right here in front of you, and it just shows you how base and how vile Esau is. He not only is he violent, not only is he a liar, a deceiver, not only is he um, a just a wicked person. Amen. His body is filthy. Well, he's unclean. You know what I mean? Like you see these Edomites running around here, they're just clean lepers, but ultimately they're unclean people. And it shows you that in their daily activity, and they're just like their forefather Esau. It's sometimes I get amazed at how much um, genetics pass down from one generation to the next, man, and not just the things that you can see, but just their personality, the way that they act, the way that they do things. They're highly impatient. They love to eat blood. They're murders of men. They're untrustworthy, and that's all these Edomites. Okay, except for the Jakes that are scattered amongst them that may look like them, but Edomites are just vile people, and I just want to kind of focus on their hygiene today via these videos that I have. All right, so without further ado, let me play this real quick.
My no shower journey. Join me on day 47 of my no shower journey. It's been a personal goal of mine to help conserve as much water as possible and to help the planet thrive. And yes, that means no showering and no washing of hands. The only thing I do with water is cook with it and drink it. And let me tell you, I feel like the same person I did 47 days ago. And yes, maybe that's because I haven't showered. Join me on day 47.
Right, so here it is. This devil claim that they saving the earth, right, by not using or consuming water, right? Real quick, but they're the destroyers of the earth. Their presence alone already defiles the earth. Because since they've been in power, wickedness have exceedingly polluted this place. But even when they think they're doing good, they're not doing no good. This is the book of Revelation 11 and 18. All right, Revelation 11 and 18. And the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come, and the time of the dead, that they should be judged, and that thou shouldest give reward unto thy servants the prophets, and to the saints, and them that fear thy name, small and great, and shouldest destroy them which destroy the earth, man. And starting with the super elite, they have destroyed this whole earth. All right, the super elite, which are the Edomites, you know what I mean? These high level warlocks and witches, they polluted the whole earth, and they destroyed the whole earth too. You know, and then they had the lessers thinking that, well, if I conserve water, and she could conserve water by other means. With this devil, these are the people that go to your work. These are people that are your managers, your supervisors. And when somebody looks at this Edomite, right, they'll assume that this person is nice and sweet, and they talking all calm and shit, and they're eating they're eating pretty healthy. You'll think that this person is somebody to be lauded, but in reality, this thing is a filthy beast, a filthy animal. They live in filth. Their bodies are disgustingly, and like the biggest organ on your body is your skin. So you should clean your body as often as possible. You know what I mean? Now some people will say, well, you can shower every other day or every 3 days. You know, I shower every day. You know what I'm saying? I like to feel clean. You know what I mean? I like to be washed up. You know what I mean? You don't, even growing up, your grandmom or your grandfather or your father, your mother would tell you things like, hey, you got to wash the day's dirt off your body. But Edomites don't wash their bodies until they see dirt. And that goes back to their forefathers. It is a PDF from this book called, The 13 Tribes by Arthur Kozer, right? And let me start out right here. It says right here, he does not say whether the same punishments were meted out for guilty women. Later on, when talking about the vulgar Bulgars, he described an equally savage method of splitting adulterers into two, and Esau would get that from his forefathers. You know what I'm saying? Applied, well, that ain't the, you're supposed to get put to death if you're an adulterer. Applied to both men and women. Yet he notes with astonishment, Bulgars, both sexes swim naked in their rivers and have as little bodily shame as the Jews, right? Because the scriptures tell us that we're not supposed to look on each other's nakedness. You know what I'm saying? But these heathen nations, that's the shit that they do. And these are the Edomites, right? As for homosexuality, which in Arab countries was taken as a matter of course, so these heathens, these Arabs would do that. Ibn Fadin says that it is regarded by the Turks as a terrible sin. And why is that? Because Esau knew that you ain't supposed to do no gay shit like that, but obviously he does it. But back then, this is during the time of the Khazars. They knew that shit was off, you know. But in the only episode he relates to prove his point, the seducers of a beardless youth gets away with a fine of 400 sheep, and then they go off. They can't even do righteousness, man. Accustomed to splendid baths in Baghdad, our traveler could not get over the dirtiness of the Turks. The Jews do not wash themselves after defecating or urinating. And here's a great example of that. Here's a great example of that. Where is it at? Right here. Let me play this real quick.
When you shower, what's the first thing you wash?
Okay, I definitely go.
I don't wash my hands.
Oh, I was gonna say that too.
I don't care. I'm done. I'm done hiding it.
Also, we talked about this.
Yes.
Boys washing their hand, that means your dick's dirty. If you have
Yes.
to wash your hand after you pee, what do you get, a dirty dick? And why do girls have to wash it? We don't touch nothing.
We don't even touch nothing.
I get when you take a shit, wash your hands.
I will wash my hands when I take a shit always.
Yes, but why do I
Just
have to
in
wash
case.
my hands? For what? I'm not sticking my hand up my vagina. And
Like-
you know what's crazy? And I think a lot of people do this. Like if I'm in a public restroom and there's people in the stalls, I will even after I pee go to the sink, wash the water, like pretend
Run the water.
pretend I'm washing my hands, get some
out of
paper
there.
towels, get out.
Or I'll run.
Mhm.
I'll run out of the bathroom before
Yeah.
the other person comes out. I don't wash my hands.
Yeah, these are filthy people, man. And these are the same habits that they had back then. They have the same habits today. These people prepare your food. They touch your money. They touch you. And in their minds, they believe that there's no benefit from cleanliness, man. And you're just off, man.
Made the conscious decision to stop washing my hands. I think when I was in college.
Was it college for you?
I don't know. That's what I remember because one of my good friends from college also doesn't wash her hands, and it was like how we had that bonding experience. One day I was like, I'm just not gonna wash them. She's like, I'm not either. I don't wash my hands.
I don't really trust people that wash their hands because, well, one, I don't think it does anything.
And these Edomites are disgusting, bro. And you'll see this devil and think like, oh man, she's a quintessential woman. She's the apex of womanhood. No, she's not. These people are violent in the earth, man. This is Job chapter 30, verse 8. They were children of fools, yea, children of base men. They were viler than the earth. Let's look at that word for viler. Viler. They were viler. The Hebrew word there is nakah, right? And it says strike, scourge, smite, drive away, viler. Let's look up the definition for vile. Vile, right? It says extremely unpleasant, bad, disagreeable, horrible, odious, obnoxious, unsavory, off-putting. And that's what these Edomites are. You know, you see these Edomites and you think that, oh, look, she's so nice. Now, you get your white woman, you gotta train her up. Like any woman, you gotta train her up. Because our women are going off in this same shit too. The so-called Negro, Latino, Native American woman, they're just as disgusted at times, man. But that ain't our nature. This is in the Edomite nature. You look at it across the board, these Edomites, they don't properly clean themselves. They never have. We're looking at it right here during the time of the Khazars. It says what? It says, accustomed to splendid baths in Baghdad, our travelers could not get over the dirtiness of the Turks. The Jews do not wash themselves after defecating or urinating, nor do they bathe after seminal pollution, which you supposed to bathe after you have had sex. right? The scriptures teach us that you unclean. Sex is an unclean act. So we have to bathe ourselves after that shit. Really, we supposed to clean the sheets, take the sheets off the bed, all of that shit. You know what I mean? But it says these people, and nor do they bathe at the seminal pollution or other occasions. They refuse to have anything to do with water, particularly in the winter. You see that? When the Gu's commander-in-chief took off his luxurious coat of a brocade to don a new coat the mission had brought him, they saw that his underclothes were fraying apart from dirt, for it is their custom never to take off their garments they wear close to their bodies until it disintegrates. And the so-called Jews do that shit to this day. These people are fucking disgusting, bro. You know, just listening to this shit, and they're proud of it. You know, listening to these people tell the truth about their hygiene habits. And so I want to rewind this real quick. These people are disgusting, bro.
Hands because, well, one, I don't think it does anything to actually wash. It doesn't do anything to actually wash them.
And this is a person who doesn't know anything about hygiene. Top 10 facts about washing your hands. Around 33% of people don't use soap when washing their hands. Up to 80% of communicable diseases are transferred by touch. Proper hand washing can reduce diarrhea rates by 40% and respiratory infections by close to 90%. And people get pink eye because they have shit, fecal matter on their hand, and then they rub their eyes, or somebody will touch them or touch something, and then that person touch it, and then they got pink eye. Failing to wash hands correctly contributes to nearly 50% of all foodborne illness and outbreaks. You got people preparing your food, and their hands are disgusting. You know, and well, you can thank the so-called white man for that. You can thank the so-called white man. This dumb bimbo Edomite said that washing your hand don't do nothing. Well, that's in their minds because they're filthy people that are heathens. But when you go to China, the heathen, they do the same shit. Edomites, they do the same shit. They play with rats, man. And this is why the Lord told us stop fucking with these heathens, bro. This is why the Lord don't rape the heathen. You know, amongst many other reasons. They're just a corruptible people, all of them. But the Esau is the worst, right? This is why the Lord don't look at these heathen nations as something to be lauded, to be exemplified, to be imitated. No, they're beneath us, bro, in every way, in every way. All right, this is the book of Psalms 40 and 17. Psalms 40 and 17. All nations before him are as nothing, and they are counted to him less than nothing, and even vanity. See, the Lord look at these nations as less than nothing. And that's another reason why we got destroyed the way we got destroyed, because we were following after these nations, their customs, their idolatry. And then their idolatry led into all their other clean acts and filthiness, and which is sin and iniquity. Right? They're vanity, they're nothing. They're less than nothing. It would be something to say that there's something, but they're not even something. They're less than nothing.
Wash them.
I do wash if I
They
go
didn't-
number 2.
They didn't used to wash them back in like the way back in the day when they didn't have, and you would go to the bathroom out in the outhouse. Nobody washed their hands.
Yeah,
then.
well, you're heathens. They and in the ancient East, we had shit like that. We had sinks to wash your hands. We had toilets. They had flushable toilets. When you Edomites started standing up as a nation and started spreading your filth across the earth, no, y'all ain't had that shit. Y'all reserved that shit for the upper class, while the lower class had the shit in their hand, right? And then these same people making food, and they had extreme disease back then. Extreme disease. The food might have been better because the nutrients were still in it before Esau got over here and started taking the nutrients out of foods and just giving you shells of shit they call food. You know? And these are the people, and I get pissed off sometimes. I'm like, look at these people, bro. These are the people that's ruling over us, man. These kind of people. Hold on, where's that at? These kind of people.
When you shower, What's the first thing you wash?
Okay, I definitely go hair first.
Hair first?
Hair first.
Do you wash your hair every time?
Well, I only take like one shower every 6 days, so.
You see that?
So you start with hair.
Start with hair.
And then.
Then I'll normally do conditioner and then face wash. Then I get out.
See? Don't even wash their body. And they find that shit funny. These people, you look at Mark Zuckerberg, you look at these Jake women fawning over these Edomites. These people are fucking disgusted, bro. These are your managers, head function managers, supervisors, bosses. They get preferential treatment all throughout this earth. And this is what they do. The bitch says she don't wash her ass for 6 days. She's a woman. You trying to tell me that this bitch pussy is just clean all day? She pissing and shitting, sweating all fucking day. And you women think this shit is cute. You put some makeup on and you put a bunch of perfume on and your dresses on and you think that you're hot shit. But you're filthy animals. Beast. Low lifes. And then they find it funny. The bitch got the nerve, the audacity to have a fucking mask on her face while sitting in her home. And you look at this bitch and think that she's clean. Oh, she's white. She got white. Look at her nails. Look at her house. This bitch is a beast, bro. These are beasts, man. Base people, bro. Base.
She's in there just. How long is this? 4 minutes.
No shame. It's not my past. It's my present. And I'm not ashamed. I do not wash my body.
At all. Yeah.
It's a waste of time. The soap like runs down you.
Sure. Because
Like,
on
you know
another.
how the soap's like.
Yo, absolutely. I'm on the
you
same
just kinda,
page.
like, run it.
I'm not on that.
No, I'm not fully bored, but like I have a ticket.
Yeah, that's disgusting. That's disgusting. That's these people, bro. These are the same people. Even if they ain't Khazars, let's say they might not be Amalekites. They might be fucking Temanites. They're Edomites, man. They're nasty, bro. They search. These people are disgusting, bro. Hey, let's go back to this 13th tribe, right? When the Gu's commander-in-chief took, oh, I already read this part. It says, another Turkish tribe, the Bashkirs, shave their heads and eat their lice. Heathen shit. They searched the folds of their undergarments and cracked the lice with their teeth. When Ibn Khaldun watched which Ibn was a Jake, Bashkir do this, the later remarked to him, they are delicious. He said that they are delicious. All in all, it is not an engaging picture. Our fastidious traveler contempt for the barbarians was profound, but it was only aroused by their uncleanliness and what he considered as indecent exposure of the body. The savagery of their punishment and the sacrificial rites leave him quite indifferent, because these people were saying that they were Israelites. They said that they were Jews. These Khazars were really, they were just converts. Thus, he described the Bulgars' punishment for manslaughter with the detached interest without the otherwise frequent expressions. You know, I think up on the top it tell you how the women, they sit and they scratch their vagina in front of people. It says, the sexual mores of the Gus and other tribes were a remarkable mixture of libertarianism and savagery. The women wear no veils in their presence of their men or strangers, same thing they do today, nor do the women cover any part of their bodies in the presence of people. One day we stayed in a place of Gus and were sitting around. His wife was also present. As we conversed, the woman uncovered her private parts and scratched them, and we all saw it. Thereupon, we covered our faces and said, may God forgive me. You see this shit? Right? Because you ain't supposed to look at a man's wife, especially her nakedness. You crazy? The husband laughed and said to the interpreter, tell them we uncover it in your presence so that you may see and restrain yourselves. That's disgusting. But it cannot be attained. This is better than when it is covered up and yet attainable. Adultery is alien to them. Yet, when they discover that someone is an adulterer, they split him in two halves. This they do by bringing together the branches of two trees to him and tie him to the branches and let both trees go so that the man tied is torn in two. Yeah, you see? That's disgusting. These people are nasty, bro. These are the people that rule over us.
Very rarely.
Oh my god, I'm so happy that you're talking about this.
Yeah.
She didn't have a bath.
We I don't say we avoid bathing, but we bathe very rarely.
Oh my god, I'm so happy that you're talking about this.
Yeah.
She didn't have a
You see,
bath.
they put makeup on, they put all that shit on, they put what you think is clean clothes on. These people are disgusting people. These people are nasty.
Yeah,
They're
we
not
didn't
clean.
bathe her for the first full part of her childhood, and like now we basically bathe her as she asks for it because it's fun, or she's exceptionally dirty.
We really wanted to keep her skin microbiome as healthy and intact, even if it's just rinsing with water.
What's microbiome? Because they use these words and they have you thinking that they're somebody special. Microbiome. Microbiome. Microbiome introduced the microbiomes is a collection of all microbes such as bacteria, fungi, viruses, and their genes. And you wonder why your kids get sick when they go to these schools, man. That naturally live on your bodies and inside us. Although microbes are so small that they require a microscope to see, they contribute to a big way of human health and wellness. And you wonder why they want to, juice you up with all of that shit. And here it is, these Edomites, these children, the children, from the children to the parents, they walk around, they don't brush their teeth, they don't wash their body, they don't do none of that shit. And then you wonder why sickness is so fucking rampant around here. You wonder why. The Edomites.
Our water has chlorine in it and all kinds of other preservatives. And our water has chlorine in it and all kinds of other preservatives. As healthy and intact, even if it's just rinsing with water, our water has chlorine in it and all kinds of other preservatives and different chemicals that I just didn't want to expose her to.
This show and being married to my wife has opened me up to so many more thought processes like this, because I think so many of us are conditioned. But if you really strip it down and think about it, obviously we lived this way naturally for a very long time. I think, like, you put up the commercial city constraints and people change their behaviors. It's like coming back to a more primal way of life.
Now that you guys are saying this, that makes a lot of sense to just like let it be. And I feel like as a mother too, you have intuition to know when they need a bath.
What kind of shit is that intuition to know when you need a bath? These people are disgusting people. This is Job 30 and 1, man. And we need to get the fuck up out of here, bro. Job 30 and 1. But now they that are younger than me, now they that are younger than I have me in derision, whose fathers I would have disdained to have set with the dogs of my flock, right? Because these Edomites will do something to the dogs, to the animals, to the flocks. And you know what that something is. These Edomites, they're disgusting. I shared a video like yesterday. This Edomite, he loved licking dogs in the face, and he ended up getting a disease that well, it was like frostbite, but it wasn't frostbite. It was a disease that he had to get all his limbs amputated, from his hands from his arms to his legs, man, and even his nose. He's gonna lose his nose, man. This is what they do. The Edomite said he loved licking dogs in the mouth, man. You don't do no shit like that, bro. Yeah, whereunto might the strength of their hands profit me, and whom old age was perished. For want and famine they were solitary, fleeing into the wilderness in former times, desolate and waste, who cut up mallows by the bushes and juniper roots for their meat. They were driven from among men. They cried after them as after a thief, right? So at one point, these Edomites were pushed out of the earth. Why? Because they were despicable people. They were driven from among men, right? They went into the mountains. They driven them to the mountains. They driven them to the corners of the earth. So for a period of 1,000 years, there were no people on the earth. Just like these Japhites here over here. There are no people on the earth. Even though they're still here, they're just there. They didn't hold any power. They don't hold any power. They don't control policy, right? And that's where Esau was. They were driven from among men. They cried after them after a thief, to dwell in the cliffs of the valleys and caves of the earth and in the rocks. And you know they were filthy up in there. Among the bushes they brayed, under the nettles they were gathered together. Right, when they brayed, they made that. They talk that. They just how they talk. They were children of fools, yea, children of base men. They were viler than the earth. You see? And that's exactly what they are, man. I looked this up right here. I was like, why do white people seldom take baths? You know? And it says, is it true in general that white people don't bathe with a rag? If so, why? Why don't white people like to bathe? Do Europeans really not shower every day? And there's a bunch of questions. Is it true? Somebody claimed that they use a washcloth. I'm not a spokesperson for white people, but I am one. And I have known quite a few in my lifetime. We tend to take showers more than baths. They are quicker, which are a big plus unless you are the type who likes to luxuriate in a tub. Most people don't have the time for that. That's a lie. Let me see. BO body odor. It says BO body odor is a death sentence in many parts of the world. Sort of. Just because nobody has dared to tell you you stink doesn't imply that you shouldn't shower once a week. And that's what they people do. Let me see how often should you shower or bathe. How often? Obviously, it's gonna come from an Edomite, so you know it's gonna be some bullshit. You bathe your body, right? And we come from the East. We love, it says 2 to 3 times a week. That's disgusting. Many doctors say a daily shower is fine for most people. More than that could start to cause skin problems. But for many people, 2 to 3 times a week is enough and maybe even better to maintain good health. Depends on your part, on your lifestyle. Nah, nigga, you gotta wash your ass every day. Man. You fucking, you eating shit, you pissing and shitting, bro. You need to wash your body. There's no reason why you should be acting like a fucking Edomite, bro. That's disgusting. But hey, this how Esau was. He was a stinky man. He was a what? Man in the field. This is Genesis 25 and 27. And the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter and a man of the field. Jacob was a plain man dwelling in tents. Jake stayed at the crib. Jake wasn't in the streets like that. As the boys grew, Esau became a skillful hunter. He was an outdoorsman. So if he's outdoor, you know he smelled like the outdoors. But Jacob was a quiet and temperate, preferring to stay at home, you know, and worship the Lord and do what was commanded of him. That's what he did. But Esau, he liked the streets. He liked to be in the wilderness. And that's why even when Isaac was blessing Jacob, Jacob had to put on Esau's clothes, right? And that smell. So this is Genesis 27:27. And he came near and kissed him, and he smelled the smell of his raiment and blessed him and said, see, the smell of my son is as the smell of the field, which the Lord have blessed. So Jacob in the NLT, so Jacob went over and kissed him. And when Isaac caught the smell of his clothes, right, because they weren't clean, he didn't smell like fabric softener, and he smelled like gain, it smelled like the outside, man. He was finally convinced. So that means Esau didn't even wash his garments. He would just take the shit off and hang it up and put on the next bullshit. He was finally convinced. It says when Jacob went over and kissed him, when Isaac caught the smell of his clothes, he was finally convinced and he blessed his son. He said, the smell of my son is like the smell of the outdoors, which the Lord hath blessed, man. You see? So yeah, man, I just want to bring this out, man. Just a good illustration of Esau's uncleanness, man. These Edomites are disgusting. She says, and yes, that means no showering and no washing of my hands. So you touching food with your bare hands. You touching everything in the house with your bare hands. You ain't washing your fucking hands. You ain't washing your ass because you trying to conserve water. Like, how much conserving water you going to do? She, in her mind, she thinks that she's helping the earth. But in reality, they're destroying it, man. And they must needs go in slavery. This is Dante Shalom. On to the next. Y'all disgusting.